Well, good morning. I hope that was fun for everyone. Um, Quick update from yesterday's ad hoc coverage of the Parkway issues. The PHA encampments. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a migraine day, so pulling together thoughts is a little difficult. Um, the PHA encampments have are still survive as of this morning. To my knowledge, I haven't heard or seen any reports of any attempts by the city to evict the encampments, even though they issued an eviction notice for the encampments that was supposed to happen yesterday. As of today, during the afternoon yesterday, they had negotiations with the city. And those negotiations, according to folks that I received communication from that were on the inside of those negotiations, seemed to be going pretty well. Residents were being able to express their concerns and issues. I'm just going to turn up my mic a little bit here. Check, 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 check. Wrong direction. There you go. All right. So yeah, they were able to express their concerns and issues without talking over each other, and all the parties to the negotiations were able to talk instead of shouting or arguing. That's good progress. There was a injunction requested by Councilmember Gauthier and Councilmember Councilmember, let me figure that out. At any rate, also a few other city council associated folks requested a temporary injunction barring the city from removing people from those encampments, and that temporary injunction was not agreed to by the judge overseeing it. He refused to sign it. Not the best thing, but the city has agreed that they will hear out folks on Thursday. So they scheduled some testimony for Thursday, and so the city's supposed to hear out folks on Thursday, and that's how they're supposed to get hopefully some resolution to this issue without the violence of tossing people out of what has become their temporary shelter. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning.
Welcome to the
talking
broadcast.
about the camps.
Yes. Yes. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of weird going around the city lately. There was always this one homeless guy on the end of the street that I would, give money to or food if I had it. And I haven't seen him in, I don't know, probably since March. So whether or not he's temporarily somewhere else or, something happened, I don't know. But it's kind of, weird that they wouldn't help people in this time.
Well, and what I said on the broadcast was yesterday was that I re-brought up the fact that the CDC recommends that everybody stay in place. If there is an encampment, leave the encampment be, because unless you have permanent housing for those folks, you're just scattering them to the wind, and that's a more dangerous situation for a pandemic than having the folks that are unhomed be in an encampment where they can ostensibly get services from the city, even though Philadelphia seems to be failing to provide those services for some reason.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what, like, I don't know what more we can do as citizens. You know, there's a lot of, we can keep harping on our council members. We can keep yelling at the mayor's office and the office of the managing director, but I'm not sure what more we can do.
Right.
Anyway.
Without kind of, I mean, things are already quite tense as it is. Yeah. And without having the housing to put them into, for us to go out and kind of put them somewhere where they can still be together, but still be sheltered and not on the street.
Well, so the city has been talking about the folks that they have helped. They've placed 90 some residents in either temporary housing or in those at high risk in hotel rooms, temporary hotel rooms with private bathrooms to take care of themselves. I don't know. The trust is broken. We talk about the PPD or the police in general, and the trust is broken there too. How the city needs to do something that will rebuild that trust, and it starts with just accepting that people are telling the truth when they say, "Hey, I don't trust the PHA."
Right. And also admitting that you have a problem. I think that's the biggest part. They cannot admit that there is a problem.
The first step is to admit you have a problem.
And until they do that, it's like, like they just refuse to say, like, yes, there are some bad apples. Yes, we have, screwed up some stuff, and we're working on, like they won't do that part. What they're gonna tell you is, oh, look, we put 90 people out of I don't know how many homeless people in the whole entire city in temporary housing.
I was guessing about 300 total, just rough estimate. It's not much.
Maybe even, it's not much, but it's definitely not 90.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. Chris joined us, I guess, with just to listen in. But Chris and I have been talking about political YouTube. We both watch a lot of political content on YouTube and whatnot, and I'm a relatively small channel on YouTube, but this is political YouTube too, and we've been talking about how do we express positions, and I think I said it before on this chat, like the reason why I decided to start broadcasting it was because at least folks get to see an opinion perhaps that they had never seen before.
Right. And I think, like, even for me, for years, I mean, probably since I started on social media, I never used to post anything political, anything that could possibly be kind of construed as, oh well, she's liberal, Democrat, Republican, whatever. Like I just didn't dabble in that. But at this point, I felt like I had to start because people needed to know, number one, how I felt for real. And to know that even though I seem to be all peachy keen all the time, like there's still things that I go through that they have no idea. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a part of the thing. Like when people see me out and we're at happy hours and I'm, hosting like the film and theater events and I'm smiling, I'm dressed up, but I go home still black. And there might be, like something that happened to me that day that dealt with the fact that I am a black woman and, like they have no idea. I just still smile and keep going. So they just assume I'm having a great old time here in America. uh, but you know, I have to like say something, otherwise they think or they don't know what's really going on.
Yeah, and I think perhaps it's time for people to grow out of the idea that we need to be apolitical. We need, you know, like, I don't know who romanticized the idea or who started romanticizing the idea of being apolitical. It's silly. It's a
Right.
little bit silly. Like, um, you know, everything is politics. Your life is politics. Every time you touch, um, you know, the outside world, it's political.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know who started that idea, but you know, let's talk politics all the time.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like what we talked about before about salaries. Like you were always told to not talk about salary, but then you know you kind of find out that you know people are getting paid way more than you, and you know you don't know because you didn't talk about it. So in health and everything has politics involved. Even employment has politics involved. There's nothing that we do that doesn't have some kind of
You
governmental
you
regulation.
you just touched on something that's really important to me personally as a union member.
Hmm.
Talking about salaries, and also just expanding upon what James was saying with like things being taboo, like talking about politics. Um, I don't know who specifically created that as a construct, but it definitely seems like it benefits people who are in power, the power structures that control the world around us. So it seems like it's something that was kind of conditioned into us by people who stand the most to gain by us not talking about politics, talking about wages, talking about organizing.
Right. Yeah. Because how can they control you if you know you knew everything that was happening?
Also, by the way, I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Got a few more people on here. Cool G Rap, Tupac.
Nice. Let's see. What else did I put on my? We've briefly touched on the PHA encampments. I'd like to talk about like so. I'm sure some folks just tune in weekly just to. I don't want to say just to hear me talk, but just to hear us talk, just in the coffee break chats, and probably don't catch the live shows, the like breaking events shows. But talking yesterday about the PHA housing, the office of the mayor, well, Kenny himself released released a statement in an interview where he basically said that the goalposts have been moving for the negotiations with the PHA encampments, and I can I can vouch for the fact that they haven't. You know, I can vouch for the
Mm.
fact that they've been exactly the same since day one. So where this is all leading, though, is like I have sources. You know, I have folks on the inside of these negotiations and folks that I talk to and follow, and uh, it's I'm trying to express the urgency of getting independent coverage, like coverage from me and reporters that I can send, like Chris, over everything, like so that we have the full story, um,
Mm.
and because that's what you know what even though um, the Enquirer is doing what it always does, and for a majority liberal quote unquote city, and I put those in big square scare quote. for a liberal city, we have a very conservative bent on pretty much all local political issues. And the Enquirer is doing what it always does, which is presenting all sides or both sides. Even though there aren't really two sides, there's just one side, and that's the truth. They keep publishing things like Kenny's statement that that the goalposts have moved without critique. They keep publishing things like the Sparswood residents complaining to city council members without critique, without saying. There's also hundreds and thousands of people contacting city council in support of the encampments and in support of the city doing something. That's why the council members that have responded at all. It was member Gauthier and Council Member Kendra Brooks. Oh, it was Council Member Kendra Brooks that signed the letter. Sorry, I don't know why I got. Who's KG? Council Member KG. KGR. Gilmore Richardson. Catherine Gilmore Richardson is also kind of in this support group, but she wasn't the one that had signed the letter. Anyway, yeah, but I don't know. And the city council president Daryl Clark, whose district these encampments are in, hasn't said a thing. Hasn't said a thing about them.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's important that there be an independent eyes on things. This also goes to. There's been a big argument amongst protest circles. I follow and talk to a lot of people who are heavily involved in in-person protests and stuff like that. There's been a lot of conversation in protest circles about publishing your image, and like the FBI is using images to track down people. Don't photograph anything. OPSEC, blah blah blah. And I'm like, y'all, no, like. So white people are all of a sudden worried that because we can see who you are, like you're in danger. No,
you might be. Yeah, I guess it depends. If you're not doing anything wrong, then fine, take my picture. If you're the one starting a lot of the things that other people are getting blamed for, yeah, probably should be worried about them tracking you down.
But that's my thing, man. Like, I could end up dead just for being a brown person. Mm-hmm. And now you're feeling the heat. White activists are feeling the heat. Oh, the FBI or random people on the internet might track me down and threaten me or try and kill me. I got all kinds of feels about this.
Right, like welcome to our world. And you got to remember, MLK was under investigation by the FBI. So being an activist, period, puts you at some kind of, they're going to check you out.
Yeah.
And especially if they don't agree with what you're saying, they're definitely, probably going to make your life miserable, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah.
The whole idea that you can go out and protest anonymously and then go home and just take that off, like that really, I mean, I not to put too fine a point on it, but like that's really the definition of white privilege. You can go out in your black shirt and your black bandana, and you can spray paint on walls, and then you can go home and pretend that, that everything's
And nothing
okay for
ever
you.
happened,
Yeah.
right? Must be nice to be able to, kind of the same thing with cops, you're in your uniform and then you go home and no one would know you were a cop unless you said something.
Are you in a stairwell, Jay?
Yes, I am.
I can hear my own echo.
They want $200 and a cheesesteak, or I'll never. Hello. Hello.
Wow. Not sure if we can provide that.
It's like, keep them. Hey, I love your shirt. That's dope. The KRS-One shirt. That's dope.
KRS-One, Rakim, Cool G Rap, and Tupac.
I'm about to marry you. I'm about to marry you.
Gotta keep it funky.
Everybody means Little Yachty, Little Megan. This time, like, oh no.
Yeah, I couldn't name a song. If they held me at gunpoint, I would be dead.
And I don't really care about the whole WAP song, but when I hear it at a 10-year-old's birthday party, 10-year-old girl's birthday party, it's like,
what?
I'm just like, I'm gonna.
The unedited version, like not like the Kid Stop version.
Edited version.
Wow.
Unedited version.
James is leaving. He's so outraged.
I'm done. I'm through with society. Like everything I thought was.
I hate it here.
Wow. Right. Exactly. Wow. That's amazing. Whew.
Well, all right. I was glad I was doing photos and not videos. Videos would have been evidence. Like I can't be a part of this.
Right.
Can I just express like how much joy I take at looking at like conservative commentators and their absolute outrage at a song that uses the word pussy. It's so hilarious.
Because you're like
watching these grown ass men like.
Well,
I'm not
and
mad about the song at all because I grew up with like
sexual.
Yeah,
well,
I'm not mad about the song because I grew up with Uncle Luke and NWA and Too Short.
But parents would never play that at the kids' party after the kids left and the other music.
That's the grown folks' music.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
you had to wait till grandma left before you put Luke on.
Yeah, like that was a little different. You have to wait till the last aunt or uncle left the room. You're like, all right, are they gone? All right, let's turn on the other stuff.
Yeah, you can't either have auntie and uncle around, or you can't have Grammy and Grandpa around.
Nope.
Although I always wanted to play "Don't Stop, Get It" at like my Black church revival just one time, just to see what happened.
Nice.
Like,
they would have started dancing and realized that where they really were.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm about to make some change up in here. I'm sorry, Pastor.
But and that's actually people kind of like what Chris is saying, like, you've got conservative old white men that are so worried about, what Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B are saying, but our president could say worse.
Grab
him.
him.
Do worse.
He says grab it.
Right, like, if they don't want it, you just go ahead and grab it, like, okay, so that's fine, but,
And them old conservative men be in the strip club getting it popping. They be in the strip club getting it popping. Don't front. You just on TV right now. I know you like sisters. Don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes sisters. Everybody. All of y'all. Is that a hammock behind you? That's awesome.
Yeah, I would have it outside, but it's raining again. So.
But you don't have to shovel rain.
I don't have to shovel rain. Actually, my fear is that with all this moisture in the air all summer long, this is going to be snow when it gets colder.
I hope it is. We could use the temperature drop.
No,
I mean, like, think about it. The globe could definitely use this temperature drop.
All right, for the sake of the environment, I will.
Let me think about it.
Think about it. But I kind of been liking this heat. Not gonna lie. Me and Amazon, I've been buying crazy things like this, and I'm kind of wishing it would stop raining so I can enjoy it. Man, they love me. I love them. We're like a first name basis. Crazy.
I keep putting parts on my AR-15 from Amazon. I think my neighbor's looking at me like, "What the hell is he buying? Is that a gun?"
Yes.
Hey, nowadays,
yes,
we definitely need that. Who knows what after November?
It's a nice one too. and I'm rather good with it.
I don't know what folks are gonna do in November, because win or lose, Trump and leaving,
it's still gonna be hectic.
Politely. Yeah.
Right.
He's doing everything he can. He's like an evil villain now. We must stop the mail.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh my gosh.
And then he posted "Save the USPS" the other day.
Like,
oh my God, I saw that. I almost had an aneurysm.
It's almost like, you know, those people who create the problem and then try to fix it, and then no one remembers that they created the problem, but that they fixed it. He's that guy.
I remember.
Yep, he's that guy. But you know, his base is going to be conveniently forgetful when it comes down to that.
Well, yeah,
I'm just waiting for Scooby and the gang to walk up on him and snatch his mask off. Like, we knew it was you, Mr. Wilson from the county store. Like, you damn kids.
These damn kids.
Yeah.
And I would have got 4 more years. What if a Scooby and his weed smoking friends?
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. We all know they smoke weed. Come on now.
Yeah, that's
they certainly did. Certainly did.
You don't need all them Scooby snacks unless you a little.
Scooby snacks were definitely edibles, man. Always happy. Come on now.
Right. Got the psychedelic flowers all over their truck.
I love the one meme that went around for a while. There is no heterosexual explanation for this, and it was like a panel with Daphne and Velma, and Daphne was wearing a particular outfit, a very particularly designed outfit, and then the next panel they're out on a porch and it's like 20 minutes later, but Velma's wearing the outfit that Daphne was before.
Oh my.
I mean, it was the 60s, they were hippies.
Right.
That can happen now.
Yeah, it would happen now. It would.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I'm just saying, it's
probably a reality show. They just want to start ruining my childhood cartoons in live action. Like, oh, come to VH1. The Scoobies, like, please don't do this. Please don't do
right,
this.
Yeah, don't.
Thundercats Uncut.
Don't.
No, not you lying though. Not you lying though. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Leave my childhood alone. Write something original.
all the posts this morning, all the social media posts on Twitter this morning are about DeJoy saying that he's not going to go through with any of the changes that he's going to rescind the change orders that he had put out just to avoid the appearance of impropriety. And I keep posting in reply to everybody's like, too late, because it is. Like, it don't matter what you do now. You already literally trashed sorting machines and reduced the sorting capacity of cities like Philadelphia. Philadelphia is like the #2 most reduced sorting capacity, with like they can sort 300,000 less pieces of mail per day.
Wow. Yeah, can you imagine having to send mail, like if you wanted to send a birthday card or whatever through like FedEx or UPS, like it would never get there. And it would be super expensive.
Yeah. I don't want to pay $14.50 for a piece of mail.
And aside from me hating his character, but just the things that he does as a so-called president, when I talk to people at these truck stops, and I literally asked them, I said, listen, I know he's a piece of shit, like, but besides that, how do you rock with someone that's just galactically stupid? How do you do it? You're an intelligent man. You drive a truck. There's a lot of math and geometry and timing. It's not just hold the wheel and turn. You run a business. You run a family. You're head of household. How do you rock with this guy? How do you do it? It's like stop pouring barbecue sauce on poop and calling it a souffle. It's still poop.
I don't know what it is, because I don't know. Did you see the video? Did you see the video with the pillow guy? Oh. He was on CNN with Anderson Cooper. He's pushing some drug or whatever that he says is going through the FDA. He has no idea how clinical trials work. But you've got a guy who manufactures pillows who's trying to push a drug for COVID and saving lives. And, you know, like he's not stupid. He started a business. He's, you know, stupid now because he started a business and now people are like, fuck your pillows. Like, but, you know, like, it's just weird how, like, people, I don't know, like, the people that I thought, even Ben Carson, freaking neurosurgeon, like, how do you rectify that in your mind that that's okay? Like, it's crazy.
I don't know how he got past medical school.
Yeah, like, like, did he get pushed through?
You know what they call a doctor that got all C's in medical school? A doctor.
He's still a doctor.
Yeah, but he's
like one of the most renowned neurosurgeons. It's not even like he sucked at his job.
Yeah, he's
good
like
at it.
That was the thing I was going to say.
I know quite a few people that are exceptional in academics and in their profession, but once you take them out that element, the common sense is gone.
Right. And he
the
puts
street smarts is gone. The sharpness is gone. I know like maybe maybe two of my best friends are like that. They're excellent at what they do. Brilliant, one of the like brilliant academic minds and good at what they do. But take them out of the happy box. It's like, where's the doorknob in the morning? Like, it really is bad.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Like, there are tons of examples of, you know, you can be an expert in a field and not know anything about another field. I think the issue that we're seeing more and more is people who may be an expert in a field thinking that means that they now are an expert in every other field, and so they solicit their totally useless opinion as if it's credible.
Right.
Exactly. And I don't do that. And I know I'm a man. I'm supposed to assume to know everything about everything mechanical and electrical. I don't do that. If something's smoking in a corner of my house, I'm going to call someone because I don't want to blow my damn house up.
Right.
I get in trouble because I actually do know such a wide variety of things, not very well, but I know all of them a little bit, and people just don't believe that anybody can know that wide a set of things.
Yeah, but you're smart enough to know when you don't know something to not touch that because it could kill you.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you know when to call for help. You know, you don't, you know, when you had that squirrel situation, it wasn't like you were, you know, trying to, fight this guy, you know, like you knew to call someone else.
Oh,
hold on. Squirrel situation? I feel like there's a story here.
Yeah, We've been talking about it. And he's back, by the way.
Oh no!
He found a way back in. I have a squirrel in my roof line, Chris, and it woke me up again at 2 a.m. this morning. I couldn't get back to sleep till about 5. Yeah.
Can you physically see him?
No. He's in. So I live in a row house. My bedroom ceiling goes along the actual joists of the roof. And so he has, and I don't know if you know about the construction of how row homes are typically built. So
I grew up in one.
Huh?
I grew up in one. Yeah, I know.
Well, okay, so for folks that don't know, at the top where the front of the house meets the roof line, there's always a panel of wood. It's somewhat decorative, but it's there for a reason, and that reason is for firefighting. So when firefighters get to a row home that's on fire, first thing they do is pull off that panel of wood. Is to let the fire escape the roof line without going sideways, trying to go to either house on either side. Also to keep the roof more intact and not let it burn as hot. So it's like taking a lid off of a pot. It sort of lowers the amount of fire in the building. Anyway. So the squirrel has pulled away some of that facade and got in, and then my particular house has 2x4 construction with drywall on the inside because it was redone. In olden times that would be plaster and lath, but the 2x4 construction goes all the way up to the roof joists. and the drywall goes all the way up to the roof joists on the front wall, and the squirrel had actually dug a hole in through the drywall up above my ceiling. So they've gotten into from the front of the house into this void area, and then into the area above my bedroom ceiling. So yeah.
They're yours.
Are they
now.
in your fridge?
You
Are they in your fridge and eating your food when you're not home, man?
Yeah, well, Cassie decided that they must be like our new pets. Like, you know, all our pets are annoying. So this just happens to be a new one. You know, you hear it scrambling around when it wants to play, and then you hear it like scratch itself.
That would drive me nuts.
Spin around and then lay down. It just wakes up at 4 a.m. like a cat. So.
Right. And then you have a cat that probably does the same thing.
Yeah.
And I guess the cat's not on it. The cat's like, listen, I cover mice. I don't do squirrel. Sorry.
She just can't figure out how to get to it is her problem. She's like, I want it. I really want it. I hear it up there, and I want to play with it. How do I get it? How do I get it? So yeah, so now I'm probably not gonna do it today because it's raining, but I'm gonna have to go back up on the roof and go up front and see if I can. I'm just gonna try and seal it off when the squirrel's not in there, and just do a bit better job at it this time, I guess. I don't know.
I can see the frustration in your face, man. It's just like, mother.
Tired.
Well, we paid good money to get the squirrel try to get it trapped and relocated, and they just couldn't trap it. It didn't care about the food the bait that the trapper was setting out.
You need better food, like
smart.
Whole Foods or like, you know, Trader Joe's or something.
He came with some Trader Joe's level stuff, man. He came with like this. It was like this fruit compote in like one of those jars, those octagonal jars, and it's like specially made, handmade squirrel bait. Like it had nuts and berries and like I was like, that looks like
no, your squirrel. He's too like he's too hood for that. Like he's like no, I just you gotta throw out some bird seeds. Like the squirrels that come and get my.
He means like a squirrel cheesesteak and a 40.
It's like crazy. Like yeah, you gotta go a little bit cheaper. Maybe he's like chicken strips or something like that. Like he eats like a kid, kind of like squirrel.
They do. They love effing. There's a really great restaurant across the street and down on the corner. It's a typical corner hoagie shop restaurant in Philly, pizza place. And they make really good wings. And and their trash is outside, so the squirrels get into that sometimes.
Oh.
My neighbor was literally yelling about a squirrel carrying 5 wings up onto his second floor window ledge and just sitting there and chowing down. Like he was looking out the window trying to scare it off, and the squirrel's just sitting there like, I'm a finish, and then I'll go.
See, that's the kind of bait you need.
I should have told him to use some wings.
Animators on this, man. There's a story down to be told. You got to get some animators on this, man. I was happy to hear that they caught Jam After Jay's killers. Is that correct?
Oh, that whole entire story, wow. Things I never knew about Jam Master Jay, or at least I kind of didn't really want to know. But then, I was watching a documentary about Onyx, and they confirmed how Jam Master Jay rolled. It's a crazy story. Crazy. But after how long has it been? Since 2002 or something like that?
Yeah.
Finally got him. Yeah, craziness.
I guess Trump will take credit for that too. I captured
I'm sure.
killers like you mother.
No, he's
I'm
putting
sure.
on
I'm
the
waiting
flight
for
jacket
it.
right now. He's flying out to one of the carriers, and he's going to make the announcement from there.
Yep, that's how he rolls.
Yeah.
There's a tweet coming. There's gonna be something. His thumbs are like waiting. Like,
It's gonna be a live
get
tweet.
This out there. Like.
It's gonna be a live tweet, like a live tweet, Periscope John, and he's gonna broadcast like his stupid iPhone held out at arm's length. I caught Grandmaster Jay's killer.
Gonna be wearing a Public Enemy T-shirt.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, Chuck D would not like that one. But yeah.
No. Like, take that off right now.
Yeah, craziness. Yeah.
I can deal with flavor of love. I cannot deal with this.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of murders out there that still need to be solved. Breonna Taylor.
Absolutely.
Killers need to be, arrested. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch. Yeah, it's like crazy. But we're crazy for thinking that there is a problem. But yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no problem.
One guy last week told me that, well, you're an American. You shouldn't be afraid of the police. I said, a dark dude, shouldn't be afraid of police? Really? And everybody
Have you been paying attention?
I said,
apparently they have not been paying attention. Like, and of course they say, well, if you don't do anything wrong, you shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
But literally,
he's not.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah, he's not my friend, but my next door neighbors are like family, and they're all like race car drivers and BMXers, and they're extreme motorheads. So they have a lot of friends from around the world, and a lot of these friends are huge Trump supporters. And whenever he posts something, these guys, they defend him like he's a Republican. We're watching Scandal. It's like their BG search is the thing. He can do no wrong. And I'm like, wow, dude. I said 518 people have died at the hands of police this year. 518. And counting.
And that's, black and white. It's not even.
And I said, that's what I said. I said, it's not just about one color. I said, these are all innocent people of all colors who've been killed for nothing.
Even if they're not innocent, police aren't supposed to kill guilty people.
Right. They are not the judge, jury, and executioner. Exactly. They are not there to determine whether or not you need to die. The court system is there to determine
and so
they don't even let you get to the court.
But also, to your point, they are innocent. They haven't gone through a trial. We still do innocent until proven guilty here. Sorry.
Yep.
Don't care what somebody's background was. Don't care what they did 5 years ago. Don't care what they've been convicted of in the past.
About today and that shit.
Yes.
You can't do that. That's
right.
Bad.
How come the news never talks about the backgrounds of the cops?
No.
Never.
Right?
Yeah,
never.
I've never heard
any problems.
This officer had 5 officer-related incidents in the last 3 years. He was reprimanded on his sheet like 2 years ago. Philadelphia.
He has a tattoo on his left forearm that says "Fatherland."
Right. Philadelphia has an entire list of officers who they will not call for a trial to testify in a trial because their record is so problematic that that the trial could be overturned just because of their testimony.
But they're still in the police force?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. How is that even, like, if I was like that, like, if they couldn't rely on me as a lab manager to be involved with, like, anything that related to my lab, I personally wouldn't have a job.
Well, you don't have friends. You don't have friends in the commissioner's office and the DA's office and on the union. So that's the difference.
Yeah, your union isn't.
You don't
strong
also
enough.
have a corrupted system.
It's almost as if. Almost as if. Yeah.
Just, I don't know. Crazy.
So remember, I'm not allowed to be afraid of them. Remember that. Like, no, Jay, they're your friends. I don't think so, buddy.
No, don't be afraid. They're there to serve and protect.
You're
not
right.
seek and
Yes.
destroy or
Serve
anything
and
like
protect my butt.
Like, yeah, I'm calling. You robbed me. I'm calling the police way after it happened. Like, yeah, I shot this dude. I'm
Like,
gonna call
yeah,
him in like an
they're
hour.
already gone. Right.
Well, there's
Is it
a
over?
post going around about the police don't show up to stop crime. They show up
Okay.
after the crime has been committed, which is
Right.
Thank you,
accurate.
sir. Have a good one.
Yes, very.
I wanted to talk. We have about 14 minutes left. I wanted to talk about navigating politics and relate to you all how actually difficult running political ads on Facebook is. So
I can't believe it.
I'm
They've censored me a few times for stuff I posted.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at navigating, like complex, sets of rules and like giving people what they want when so that they'll let me do what I need to do. So I've been the Philadelphia Unemployment Project has been trying to run a boosted post for the rally for this Thursday. We've been trying to run it for 2 weeks now, and the head of the organization, John Dodds, and one of the other team members, Ted Kelly, and I have all been trying to get it to work. It took me the better part of probably 20-25 hours of work to get one boosted post about a rally, a protest event, to run. And I had to enter the information about the company and prove that it was an existing nonprofit organization no less than 5 times. And
do you think other rallies have had this problem, or is it the type of rally that you were trying to boost?
No, I think other rallies have had this problem. Because it's political. Like, as soon as you try and do a boosted post on a political action, they ding you if they think it's a politically related post. They tell you no, you can't run it until you meet all these criteria.
I mean, I guess in a way it's there to protect. I mean, because like if the KKK wanted to, have a rally, I kind of want them.
No,
to
they'll
stop
let
that.
the KKK run a rally boosted post. They don't care about that.
No problem.
They don't care who runs it, just so
Because my
long
cousin
as
worked there.
just so long as you verify who paid for the boosting. So
okay.
I had to verify. That's what took me so long, is I kept re-verifying who was paying for the boosting, which is the company via me. So yeah, I had to verify my identity. I had to verify the company exists. I had to verify the owner exists. I had to get actual. The Facebook actually has customer service people.
They do?
Yeah, but it's only for organizations and government officials. So nonprofits have access to like a concierge customer service, and you can get in touch with them once you prove that you're a nonprofit organization. But every step of this, I had to prove that we're a nonprofit organization and that we actually exist. It's been crazy. Anyway.
Like trying to prove you're Batman. Like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm totally Batman.
It's a Spider-Man meme, except for with, an actual person.
I got the
Pointing at
butler,
each
I
other
got
like-
the mansion, I'm a billionaire. You're not Batman. I'm totally Batman, dude. I'm super smart. I never get laid.
Poor Batman.
or maybe like twice. You get some backhand, you know what I mean? Other than that. Poor Batman.
Get some poison ivy.
Yeah, it's never good when it happens. It gets like a son, it's like the devil. See, doesn't work out.
So now I'm trying to. So as part of advocating for the PMAP program, I'm trying to get our council representatives, anytime they do a lot of public outreach, like they do community events, like, you know, food handouts, like going to COVID testing sites, and, you know, speaking at places, doing, you know, public outreach. They want to get reelected. So
Right.
some research that one of our partner organizations did was saying that folks don't trust organizations that they don't know, and so they suggested, you know, we partner with people who are known by the community, whether that be pastors or city council folks or whatever.
I don't trust them either.
Yeah, I don't trust the pastor, but some folks do.
Yeah, a little too much.
So I've been reaching out to city council and being like, hey. So I just started literally calling all their offices this morning. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to get a hold of some of these folks.
It is. You get the voicemail every time?
One of them has, you know, an announcement that their main number, their office number, has been forwarded to their cellular number, but their mailbox is full.
Of course. Of course.
I'm like,
so you can't even leave a message.
Well, you can text. You can text them.
Oh, okay. So you are able to text. It's not like it doesn't give you the actual number to call.
They want you to send a raven.
Wouldn't that be funny if one just showed up at their office and they're like, "What the hell? Like, this is 1800? Like, what's going on?"
They're attacking the wall.
Yeah, you know, gotta send that homing pigeon. Anything. Smoke signals, like, whatever we gotta do.
Maybe I'll get the West Philly Cowboys involved and ride by with carrying 2 lanterns. They're coming by sea. They're coming by sea.
See if you can find some guardian angels from the 80s.
Oh man, they were kind of cool. Whatever happened to them?
They kept getting beat up. like in the late 90s, it didn't work out.
Yeah, now
we
have the
be like
NFA.
a younger generation, right?
Well, we have the not fucking around coalition. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
We could get them in a few of these protests. That would be here in Philly. That would be kind of nice.
Right.
See how fast those liberal allies turn their backs when you have 50 to 100 fully armed black guys and women.
Yeah. They know it's going to be a shootout. You know, it's not like the other armed protester rallies where no one else, gets shot.
We said we like you in our commercials. What are you guys doing here? Didn't you see our commercials? They're all like, we love you guys.
Which speaking of, it seems like that stopped. You know, like when you log into Amazon now, when you do Amazon Prime Video, it doesn't say Black Lives Matter anymore. It just kind of disappeared. Now it's
you want me to turn around that right here? Hell no.
The people did learn, not super quick, but they learned, like, you can't just say Black Lives Matter and we'll all be like, all right, yay,
cool, like, yeah, right, like, this is great.
Give me a high five.
There's gonna be some repercussions for that.
Yeah, if you say Black Lives Matter, you better be doing something with that.
Mm-hmm. Be prepared to, say why they matter and why all lives, matter is not appropriate in the situation. It's just tough. And and I don't know, like, did we really ever get past or get far enough to think that we actually regressed, or was this how it was and it just was kind of just festering behind the scenes?
I don't know.
It seems like people haven't changed. They just kind of stayed quiet and was just like, well, it's not really, that much of a thing for me to, bring up. But now, it seems.
I think I've referenced this before, but on Netflix there's the Decades series, and it focuses on media, like actual, like, you know, television and film. There's usually one episode on film and one episode on television, and then like there's, I think, 5 episodes per decade or something like that. And the interesting thing about it is, if you watch all the decades, television and film went through a renaissance in I would say the 60s and 70s. You had like Hill Street Blues. You had a lot of movies with representation, and it wasn't like throwaway representation like it is now. It wasn't like, oh, you know, we need to hire a black guy for our cast. It was, you know, like you had Miami Vice. You had you
that
had
was dope.
like you had characters that mattered, and the scripts weren't about them being people of color. They were just people of color moving through this space. But you know, then you get to the 80s and 90s, and all those shows went away.
All the wholesome shows are going for the most part. You have like Blackish, and that's it. You don't have your Family Ties and Cosby Show and Family Matters. It's like everything's Hollywood to Get Murder, Scandal, and reality TV, Black Ink, Desperate Households of Atlanta. It's just like, so what are your kids watching? Like,
right.
You know.
But like Hollywood became segregated again.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had your black shows. So even though like the Cosby Show was like showing like, you know, the black nuclear family and all that stuff, and then we had like, you know, other shows that have come. But then when, you know, you really look at it, like I watched Everybody Hates Chris. There's a lot of white people who didn't even know it existed. It was on CW,
right.
Then, you know, so like it kind of got
we had like networks,
like black shows versus a white show. It wasn't like, you know, wasn't like a crossover where, like you said, where you had Miami Vice, where they were just doing their jobs. It just happened to be black and white.
And a Latino captain, he was awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that, you know, goes, you know. But yeah, like you said, Jay, now it's like I do find myself watching all the shows from the 80s, 90s.
All over again.
Like, I literally don't watch anything. Like, there's nothing new that I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the new episode of Love and Hip Hop. I love hip hop, obviously, but I don't love Love and Hip Hop. Like,
I've been
horrible.
Jay will appreciate this. I've been really getting into Korean TV. Korean melodrama is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I
you know what?
explored everything else.
They don't do depressing commercials. You never see any depressing ads in South Korea. You never see it.
Well, I'm watching it on Netflix, so I don't see commercials at all anyway.
I wonder if that's by design, that they don't show you anything. Okay.
Oh yeah. And they really over-sexualize their food ads, which is hilarious.
I mean, you know, we do have food porn. Like, food is love. I love food. Love food.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
so,
right.
yeah, definitely is like one of those things. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's 11 o'clock. Gonna sign off here. Sign off the broadcast. But thanks for joining me again. I really appreciate it.
Glad I made it.
I will try and send out the invitation. This is produced on the backside with invites via Facebook, and so sometimes I forget to send out the invites until like the day before, which I'm sure pisses everybody off, but. But
it's fine.
It's
every
Wednesday.
I have it on my work calendar. So like, you know, between 10 and 11, like whether or not you sent something, like if you're not having, you're not having, and if you are, like last week I couldn't make it anyway. I had vendors in, but you know, I have this time carved out for this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Last
every
week
week at 10, yeah, I really appreciate it. Our YouTube channel finally got over 100 subscribers, so I'll be
Nice.
customizing that today. I look forward to everybody who's subscribed joining us every week, and I really thank everybody for subscribing and watching. And yeah, we'll see you again next week. I might jump in the middle of the week with some other updates about PHA or any other emergency actions. And thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like the content. If you don't, subscribe anyway.
Right.
You'll get to hear things. You'll get to hear things that you won't hear anywhere else. So, because I don't answer to advertisers yet. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me.
All right. Take it easy,
All
guys.
right, thank you.